question. Please, questions. We love questions.
In regards to everything being written out, what
Yeah.
happens when an FDD has a typo? For example, this company sends me an FDD that
Yep.
I signed. They raise the franchise fee by $5,000. So the first part where they mention the franchise fee says $50,000, but two other places down the contract they still have the $45,000. So what happens
So
in that?
that,
And just to repeat the question for
Yep.
the people, what happens when the franchise agreement, the FDD, the franchise disclosure document has a typo?
yes. So there's very rare instances where a court, when it's argued like that, will allow something to come in. But you want to know what's really crazy about inconsistencies in a contract? So when a contract says one thing and then it actually says another thing, those two things get crossed out as if they were never in there. So you actually have a contract now that has no amount on it. And so now, since it becomes this term that becomes, it's a term that you have to have is what price is. You have to have what's one of the elements you have to have in a contract. If you guys went and argued it, that's one of the few times that they would allow testimony in of what it was supposed to be. Like anything else that would help define that essential term, which would have been price in. So that's why it's really crazy. You got to make sure you watch those things, because any type of inconsistencies in a contract are read as if they cross each other out and as if they never existed in the contract ever. Yeah, it's a scary concept. Yep.
Oh yeah, and typically, and once again, all of this stuff I've learned from Candace, and at one time or another, a lot of times you have the drafting party, right? Any ambiguity is typically found in favor of the non-drafting party, but then you have those contracts that said this was a mutually drafted agreement, and then eliminating that ambiguity. So once again, the longer the contract, even though intuitively it would seem like that's a bad idea, you want every possible scenario to be laid out.
Yep, absolutely.